Hello all, this is Scott Grove of GroovyMusicLessons.com, Dr. Groovy. Okay, here with another guitar review. It's another Kiss guitar, or a Kiss related guitar. Did I get this because I wanted it? Yeah, I got it because I wanted it my whole life. Why? Because it appeared on a poster I had in my room forever. And that's it. You never saw this guitar except for on t-shirts, posters, all kinds of other stuff, but you rarely ever saw it in the hands of Mr. Paul Stanley. But I will give you the complete lowdown on these, okay? Because they're amazing guitars. You guys have probably seen, if you like cool guitars, the Norlin years, Gibson, bolt-on necks, yeah, the Marauders and the S1s, of course, as you've read in the title. This is the Marauder Custom. Okay, this famous guitar. If you're a Kiss freak, you know it. If you're not, you have no idea what it is. Okay, there were plenty of Marauders made, but Marauder Customs, no. Rare as hen's teeth. Okay, this one here is 1975, the first of the 2 years they made them. They actually made them for 1 year. That was actually part of 75 and the first part of 76. Then they went away. Okay, thing is, of course, like all the other Marauders, ta-da, you got the Bill Lawrence pickups. Okay, they're encased here in the acrylic here. Very groovy. You got a humbucker there with a third screw here, so you can adjust the angle, which is very nice, not just up and down, but the angle makes a huge difference. Same with the single coil here in the bridge. Okay, then your extended harmonica bridge, so you can actually get stuff intonated, where on the tom bridges, the two pneumatics, sometimes you can't. They put the bridges in the wrong place and you can't quite get them where you need it. These are like extra, like twice the length of the throw that you can adjust your saddles. So the great harmonica bridges than a regular stop tailpiece. Nice, groovy sunburst finish, which they only did in 1975. But yet they made some of these in 76. Okay, here's what actually happened. In 1975 was this one, which had just a three-way toggle switch. Okay, I actually like the version 2. There was actually 3 versions of the Marauders. I like the other ones better than these. I don't necessarily like the toggle switch. Right after this, they stuck, on some of the Marauders, they stuck a chicken head blend knob here, so you could actually blend between the two pickups. I love that. And then they made another version of this in 1976, where they actually used a Gibson S1 body. What's the difference? These are actually routed out underneath for each pickup, so it's actually just a route underneath here for this pickup. Solid wood here. Not that it makes any difference, but then another route here. It's just so you can tell the difference between fakes and real ones for those of you looking for real knowledge on guitars. Then in 76 they started using leftover 75 Gibson S1 bodies, which have a big swimming pool route for the 3 single coils. Okay, so if you see one of these, and they'll actually have the chicken head knob blend control right here in 76 on the customs. The regular Marauders just put one here, then later on in 77 they put a chicken head down here for the rest of them. But so anyway, so you'll know the difference. Again, 1975, the Paul Stanley model, as we would call it, like this. So you have inlays like this. None of the others had these inlays. Always the dots. Okay, and then in 1976 they went to the blend control right here and your big swimming pool route from the S1 bodies. So you can definitely tell the difference. Again, this is the only one that Paul Stanley was associated with. I'll show you some more Paul Stanley references here in just a second. Okay, this one's 100% original. Da, 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 da. Let you get in here and check out the 75 serial number. In 76 they went to an oval decal. Every single Gibson in 76 began with the number 00. Now, interesting here, you got a whole bunch of a gazillion 5s on here. But you'll notice this, you have a bound fingerboard. Okay, you won't see this on the Marauders either. And you have ebony where everything else had rosewood. So ebony fingerboard, nice MOP mother of pearl inlays, okay, and then binding just like the good Les Pauls where you had the binding on the frets themselves as well. So this was a high-end budget model, if you will, and we will. So one of my favorite guitars, these and the S1s, and of course the Corvus 3s. Okay, let's do our Paul Stanley homework. Paul, these were back when Kiss was actually endorsed by Gibson for about a year. That was around the Live 1 time. You'll see on the back of the Live 1 where it will say Kiss uses Gibson guitars and Pearl drums because they only want the best. Okay, even as far as back as the 70s and before, of course, companies like Gibson owned many other companies, as they do today. Gibson's no longer a Gibson, it's actually called Gibson Brands. They own everything, they buy out companies just to shut them down. Same as Fender does. Fender just bought Ovation and all that kind of stuff, and Gretsch, and just so many things. And then some of them they just shut down. You know, you have companies like Tacoma. Fender will go off and buy them and they just close the factory down. But anyway, back in these days, Paul Stanley was the first one. It was not Gene who came up with this idea of having the guitars, signing them, but not getting paid for them because they were still hungry and everything. So Gibson would always give Paul Stanley a whole bunch of Marauder guitars to break at the end of the shows. Sometimes he would play them for a little bit. You would always see him with a V or a Gibson L6S right about this time, which is, you'll see him with that on the front of the Live 1 cover. But at the end of the shows, he was always breaking Marauders, and these would be seconds, factory seconds, so there was some kind of defect in them, or even worse, some of them were playable, some of them weren't. So if they were playable, he would sign them, break them, you know, hand them out, and if he couldn't play them, you know, he'd play them for like a song or two at the end of the night if it was a factory second. So you'll see here where Paul has a regular 75 Marauder. It's actually signed. Sometimes he signed it on the pickguard, whatever, and he'd go out there and maybe play it for 1 or 2 songs, smash it, wrap it up nice and tidy with all the strings, and toss it out to an audience member. Okay, notice the boxes behind him of Marauders for breaking only. Okay, so people used to, there's a lot of stories about this, but this is a real story. I am a Kiss nut and a half, which is why I have the collection I do. Yes, I'm a country boy, but I'm a Kiss freak. Kind of like Garth Brooks. His favorite band in the world was Kiss, you know, it's just what it is. So these are what Paul used to break. Not the one I just showed you, but I will show you where this one appeared and why I bought this Marauder Custom. Okay, let's do this. Okay, here's the guitar. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, this is not where I bought it from. Just somebody else has one. I got mine from, where did I get it? Rumble Seat Music, I think, is where I got it from. I had to mess with it. It didn't work when it got here. Toggle switch was just going bad on it, so I had to soak it in a bunch of Deoxit D5 and it came right to life. It's the best stuff in the world to spray your pots, your switches with. Nothing beats it in the world. So if you're going to be using stuff on your toggle switches, inside your pots, on anything, nothing in the world is better than this. So just spray it in on your strats, on your 5-way switches or whatever. So you can just spray them right down the middle of a 3-way toggle switch if you want, and it'll clear everything out. That sound there was money. That was more DVDs rolling off the press. Okay, so Deoxit D5. Get it. Get it now. It cures everything better than you can imagine. Okay, let's get into the real thing. The ad with Paul Stanley and this guitar. Okay, so there it is with the custom. Now, funny thing is about this ad, look at it. Kiss. Yeah. Kiss knows looks aren't everything. How's that? So they're saying Kiss looks ugly and they're saying their guitar looks ugly. Which way is it? I'm not sure. Okay, now when I was talking about how Gibson owned other things, I get off track real easy for those of you who don't know me yet. When I say Gibson owned a bunch of things and why, on the back of a live one it said Gibson uses, or Kiss uses Gibson and Pearl drums because they want only the best. Well, Gibson owns Pearl, still do, just like Ibanez owns Tama drums and every other, you know, they all own everybody, so it's been going around for decades and decades. On the front of the different magazines, it was always, there's the guitar right there. So very, 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 very famous shot right there. Okay, so that's the poster, not of the magazine, but that's the one of the many Kiss posters hanging on my wall that always showed this strange guitar. It's like, what the hell was that? And Ace always had his hand down here on one of the knob, down there on the tone knob, and it's like, how groovy, man. And it has to have that toggle switch. It can't have the little rotary switch or the little blend switch. So that's the one that had to be got, the one with the toggle switch. So it had to be the 75 and not the 76. So that's hard to find. And then of course the t-shirts were made all different ways. You guys have seen me that know me in this shirt before, but there's the guitar again, but not in full color. Of course there are many of these in full color. But if I'm wearing the shirt, I better have the dang guitar too. I'm putting my shirt away, yes, to not mess it up. I know you guys get sick of me showing you my clothes. But too bad. Again, you get more than you bargained for, or you're just skipping ahead. But I just want to let you know where these come from, because most people are never going to own one or ever see one of these in their lives. And again, just another version. I just made sure I got a few. Another one that says Kiss knows that looks aren't everything. And Paul Stanley in support of the Marauder. Again, Gibson, Kiss, blah blah blah. Lasted for about a year. Ace just stuck with his Les Pauls because he kind of liked them, except for he always dug the back out so he had a contour, and he did all kinds of crazy stuff to his Les Pauls to make them work for him, so they were never, never, never standard. He took the Deluxe apart, his 73. It actually ended up being a black double cutaway before it was all over with. Let's see. And of course his was a 73 Deluxe Les Paul. He ripped it out, put the Marzio Super Distortion pickups in, then they hollowed it out and started doing the smoke thing, and so he's the only one that really stuck with Gibson at all. Of course Paul went right to Ibanez pretty much right after this whole phase, and Gene went with Kramer on all these axe basses, and Gene only used the Gibson, I've got him here, the Gibson Grabber and the Gibson Ripper basses. And again, Paul did use the Gibson L6S, and it's similar to these, for about 2 years. But here's just that famous guitar from the pictures. Again, he would always smash the natural colored ones. And that's basically what most of them were, was that light natural. A lot of them with maple bodies even back then. There was only like 2 different colors to choose from, until 2 years later then they started doing darker colors. But as far as these sunburst things go, the Marauder with a sunburst body, the only ones are these Marauder Customs. There was never another Marauder with a sunburst body. On the Gibson S1s, which are exactly the same but without this, you know, just with a regular dot neck and without the binding and the 3 single coil pickups. Just look up my reviews on S1s. I've got like 14 of those guitars. Again, they had the swimming pool routes, but in 1975 they were never released, the S1s, until 76. But in 75 is the only year they ever made sunburst for any of these guitars, for the Marauders or the S1s. So if you see a sunburst, you'll know automatically 1975, there's not a chance of it being another one. If it is dated different, then somebody has messed with it. It's just 100% sure that's the way it is, because that's the way it is. Okay, let's see if I can find a pick in this place. There's one. We'll just get a few sounds out of it, show you what's what. Okay. Yes, I'm being my own camera guy again. Okay, so very simple. Master volume, master tone. We do have a split right there in the pick guard. Never a good thing, but very common. Okay, nobody ever likes to plug in right there. They always like to give away, but everything's original except for I'm very 100% sure that that's supposed to be a white toggle switch cap, and so I'll spend the $40 and buy me a white one. I just spent $40 on this Ibanez toggle switch cover for one of my PS10s that wasn't correct. So anybody out there got a 1975 Gibson toggle switch cover, you let me know. Okay, $40 coming your way. Tuners, the good old Gibson Deluxes. I don't know if it's ever gonna get on there, but great guitars, man. The Flying V headstock, and very Tele Deluxe sounding guitar. Okay, very much so. So let's check it out. Again, going through the Johnson Millennium JM150 modeling amp. All my typical sounds. Both pickups on. Guitar will remain dimed. I'm using a Morley volume pedal, always, instead of volume on here. And my Boss CS3 compressor pedal. Great tones. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Bridge position. And neck position, very creamy. Sound of stuff. Basic distortion. Let's skip over regular distortion for just 1 second. Oh, this is kind of nice. I like this. Bridge position. It's one I just don't use very much, but it's cool. It's nice, usable tones, just like this one. Again, in the middle, let me check my tuning. High E string, a little flat. B string, a little sharp. G string's always sharp. Okay, everything else, heck with it. Okay. Fogarty. Bridge. And finally, let's get back down. Normal distortion. Let's see, what's something I haven't done for a while? Let's do some Little Feet. Let it roll. and neck, finally with distortion. And the boner tone, finally, last one will do. So it makes noise. Imagine that. Okay, we'll do just a little volume. And put on just a little bit of wah from the George Lynch Morley Dragon 2. Okay, so there you go. The 1975 Gibson Marauder Custom. Very cool. Again, the Paul Stanley-esque model. Again, you never saw it on stage, but it was always on your t-shirts and always on your posters for the real Kiss fans, and as you saw, also on all the magazine covers, and you always wondered what that was. Well, 3 of you might have. So this video's for you 3. I always wanted to get it just to get it, and now I got it just to got it. So it's on video, and now I can get rid of it. Okay, be sure to check out all the Groovy music lessons at aforementioned.com. Okay, there's the tuners we can maybe get a look at, and the volute, a beautiful thing. The nasty nitro hanging up from a non-nitro safe hanger in somebody's place. So watch your nitro, kids. Don't hang it on just any old thing, because that stuff like never ever dries. But super cool axe. Again, hard to find. If you ever wonder for sure if it's an S1 body or a Marauder body, take off the pick guard. The real, true, original 75 Marauder bodies will actually have 2 routes under here, not the swimming pool route. Okay, so if you ever wonder and you just want to test the authenticity of it right away, that's the way to do it. Okay, guys, take care. Hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.